things about this hunt that's great is I like the fact that it memorializes a true warrior. Ty and guys like Ty gave their ultimate sacrifice. You know, we need to remember them, and we need to speak their name every single year so their memory never dies. And one of the things that I like is that we all come. It's a good reason. It's a positive reason to come together and celebrate his life enduring the struggle between good and evil. So I think that's a thing that we need to keep going. These men and women go down range and they make a huge sacrifice, and sometimes it's the ultimate sacrifice. And those of us that come home and we're trying to make sense of it all, these kind of things help us get through that time in our life, and it lets us know that it matters, and the people that are of the warrior class make sure that the rest of us are protected. So absolutely, man, it's an absolute honor to be here.
Ty Woods' father, Charles Woods, reached out to me and asked if we could institute a Ty Woods memorial hunt as an annual hunt in honor of his son, Ty Woods, a Navy SEAL who was also working in Benghazi with the CIA in 2012, where he gave his life, the ultimate sacrifice, in an attempt to protect the diplomatic compound and allow for the evacuation of a number of American personnel.
Ty, he was raised on a 9,000-acre ranch in Long Creek, Oregon, and the first time I ever took him hunting was he was 5 years old. So he grew up with either a BB gun or a single-shot .22 in his hand, and you know, when he's little, sometimes he'd be gone all day hunting ground squirrels. And I think that was one of the things that really made him a Navy SEAL, was just the work ethic and, you know, his love for the outdoors, and you know, his love for challenges as well.
Being able to honor Ty through Cross the Divide by bringing his father Charles out, connecting Charles with folks like Gabe that remind him of his son. I'm really happy to be a part of an organization that's willing to, you know, make the sacrifice with, you know, our tags to help memorialize Ty, and we get to do it all with Charles, so it's a great time.
Also, this annual Ty Woods Memorial elk hunt that we're putting on, courtesy of Cross the Divide, is something else that transforms lives, and it's a very positive thing. This last few days, we've got to know Gabe. He's a combat wounded Marine. He lost his leg in 2008, and you know, that's been rough on him, like anyone. When you have, you know, you're a macho, physical person, and you have your mobility, part of who you are, taken away from you, that's hard.
COVID hit us a few weeks ago, and so we were still struggling with our health issues coming up here. We still came, and what a blessing it was, because the fresh air, the serenity of this beautiful town, but more importantly, all the people that we met. Andy, what an amazing person. His family, his wife, his kids, every single person that we met made us feel like we were family, even though each day that we tried to get an elk, saw a bunch, but could not get one.
We were battling elk moving off our properties that we're used to hunting and having them on. That came with, you know, other people that were hunting these other properties. But it was just weird because every time we were getting set up on these bulls and these groups of elk, we had a group of cowboys ride in on us one day that spooked the herd. We had a cow hunter that started lobbing rounds into our group that we were set up on. it just seemed like it was one thing after another. We could never quite get the wind right either.
Honestly, if we had gotten out there and gotten an elk the very first day, like Andy really, I think, was expecting, we wouldn't have had all that time together necessarily. But there were times where we would get on elk and then something would just, and if you're a hunter, you know how this goes, something would just, outside of our control, would kind of just go sideways, and we'd have to sort of reset and look for the next opportunity.
Started out, you know, every single day I was able to move into some kind of position with the aid of my team and the hunting guides, and we were able to get an elk in the glass, but they were executing that escape and evasion plan and using the terrain really well to their benefit.
So it was a grind for 4 days straight, and it finally came together, you know, on our last morning. Gabe and Danette drove up from San Antonio, so they had to get back home.
But we got up this morning. Andy felt like he knew exactly where the elk were. We got there. They were just a little bit to the right, you know, a few hundred yards maybe to the right of where we expected them to be, but Gabe got right on them. He made a great shot.
Talking about everybody stop moving.
Down. Hallelujah. Hold on.
We had a 308, and I wound up being able to take one shot. It put the elk down. So we sat there and observed him for about 2 minutes, and Andy said, "Hey, let's move on him." So as soon as I took him out of my glass and stood up, sure enough, he stood up. So the elk saw us closing on him. He moved over a fence. And then his heart was pumping, so the shot we got was right broadside, a little high, so we were able to move up to where he's at, do a search pattern. Once we figured out where he was, I winded up getting in position. He got up, moved again, got into the low ground at about I don't know, 425, 450, something like that, and I was able to just put a couple more rounds up to him, one. And then that's all she wrote.
But this kill Monday morning, words can't express what the look was on his face and how much it meant to him.
Be able to provide for your family and know that there's food, you know, in the refrigerator and in the freezer. So it was great, man, and God blessed us on this hunt and gave us an animal to feed them. So it feels great, man. Yeah.
We had one more morning left to do it, and we had finally gained access to a piece where these elk were hanging out, and that's what allowed us to get it done. So I can't say enough to thank these landowners for allowing us access, because obviously without them we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing out here with these guys.
But I just want to thank you all for helping my man, my Marine, my warrior get so much out of this in so many ways. God bless you all.